Hello and welcome back to section 2 of this AWS course. This is lesson 7 and we're going to look at the importance of the TypeScript compiler and type checking our code. So if you're not aware, there are actually a couple of TypeScript compilers available. One is the TSC compiler. This is when you do npm install TypeScript. And the TypeScript compiler, if we present it with a couple of files, app.ts on helper.ts, it will compile each file separately to app.js and helper.js. But importantly, it will also step through these line by line and do a very comprehensive error checking. On the other hand, there is an ESBuild compiler, which is much faster because it doesn't bother with all that error checking. It just goes as fast as it can and produces a single JavaScript file containing all of this code transpiled into JavaScript. Now, it turns out that ESBuild is the compiler used by both Vite and by TSX, which is our entire build chain right now. So whenever we deploy everything, whether it's compiling our front-end code using ESBuild, whether it's running our CDK stack application using TSX, both of them are using this ESBuild compiler. So the only chance of us finding errors is because TypeScript is actually running in the IDE. So for instance, if I remove a character here, we will be warned about this error in the IDE if we happen to be looking here right now. But unfortunately, if I go and do a deploy everything with that error in place, here we can see TSX is going to compile cloudfront.ts and that will go and import cloudfrontstack.ts. And we can see it just gaily goes on. It has no problem with this error here, and it builds it and goes off and tells CloudFormation to take its output, its CDK out stuff, and go and do a build. And then finally it gets down here where it says, I now want to run this invalidate CloudFront script. And if you remember that script, it goes and does an AWS SSM get parameter. And at that point, the whole thing fails because unfortunately, we didn't correctly store the parameter in the first place. So how do we fix this? Well, the simple answer is we use that TSC compiler that we were talking about over here. And it's simple enough to implement. All we need to do is go to our package.json and add a couple of lines to this. So I'll just add a line in here to type check, which runs a TypeScript compiler, and that is being loaded using this line here as a dev dependency. And similarly in the front end, if I go to package.json here, I can add in a type check here. And again, I've got a TypeScript already loaded in the dev dependencies. So now all that is necessary is to go to the root package.json and invoke them both. So I will add a line in to do that. Here. So type check is going to recursively run type check in the UI and in the CDK. So with all of that in place, I can do prun type check. And immediately we can see that it points to this error here. And if I hold my control key down and just click on this, it'll take me straight to the error. So it would be possible in our root package.json to actually put sort of type check, prun type check and before all of these, which would enforce the type check to be run before running any of these. I'm not going to do that, but it's certainly an option to protect all of these from type errors before they run. But anyway, I will simply fix this error now, and I will bring this lesson to a close. So I'll see you in the next